Hello, today I will be discussing my most interesting findings that I researched through my literature review. So I have been researching how to become a successful journalist and gathering information and content for any student that is looking to make a career out of journalism. So to begin, I believe that social media has a huge impact on a lot of different career paths, but significantly in journalism. So a journalist's presence on social media can greatly impact how the public views them. Um, so for example, journalists should definitely stay unbiased on on social media because biases create problems when they're reporting on certain subjects. So they could definitely lose credibility very fast if they post the wrong types of media on social media. I found that using social media as a tool to promote your work is probably the best option for a journalist. Social media also increases the risk of deceptive fake news. So journalists definitely have to be very, very aware of this nowadays. If a journalist sees something that they'd like to repost or even, report on, they need to make sure that it's fact checked because anyone can post anything on social media and deem it as news when it could just possibly be, a matter of opinion. Journalists and readers can interact with each other a lot more with the help of social media. So as soon as a journalist posts their work, a reader can respond to it, and there's definitely more interpersonal connections between the consumer and the writer with the help of social media. These are some interesting statistics that I found. This is pertaining to journalists in general. It seems as though Twitter is the most used for journalists, and Snapchat is down to the 1%. And it makes sense. Twitter is very fast paced information that gets put out there, and the journalists can definitely view what's trending on there and, to make a decision on what they think is news right now. 64% of journalists track their stories coverage on social media, and 60% consult with a company's social media in their reporting. So it's definitely used. Social media is definitely well used in the journalism community, and um, it's very important to have some sort of social media presence because a lot of the time journalists will utilize it to find people for their reporting, or like it says here, track their stories coverage to see how well their stories are doing. One thing that I learned in my research is something called the crisis in journalism. It basically refers to the fall of some aspects of journalism that have been decreasing with the new age of technology. So, for example, since there are more and more publications coming out with content um, by the hour, uh, now journalists are very much overworked in their field because their employers expect them to come out with more and more content to stand out. And also, there's a less of a demand of traditional print journalism because there's definitely a lack of willingness to pay for newspapers. It seems as though a lot of consumers prefer to get their information for free and then just be fed advertisements and monetization in order to, pay for it. Um, I also discovered a broad range of career options that one can choose. For the sake of time, I'm not going to go through all the descriptions, but there's broadcast, business, and entertainment, investigative, opinion, political, and sports journalism. Like I mentioned in my literature review, I think it's best if a journalist is multifaceted and, kind of dip their toe into some of these so that they can really see what they like to do. Because I don't think you are 100% certain with what kind of stories and coverage you'd like to write about until you've tried it out. And as for my project proposal update, I will be definitely using a lot of the content that I learned from here has helped me um, narrow down what I'd like in my magazine and what I feel like is the most important advice for a student journalist to know. Um, I'll be using WordPress. I was kind of stuck between a couple of different websites, but it seems WordPress is the most user friendly, and I can really get creative on there. And I'm going to be working on Canva graphics to add to the newspaper, um, to spice it up and add visuals and statistics. Um, and that's about it. Thank you.